Success is an idea we all love about. For us, success is like a movie scene which changed with a powerful song or like some big moment and all. But in real life, success is not that simple or easy. It takes a lot of hard work, unseen efforts, etc. So for this, we really need a high performance coach. So today we are having Fahsham Farook as our high performance coach who is an expert in flow state coaching and he is a third dan karate black belt. So welcome Fashab.
Thank you so much, VP, for that nice introduction.
Okay. So as a doctor, I have like a different thought about this flow state and this high performance, etc.
Yeah.
So could you please help me understand this in a very simple manner?
Yeah.
For me, always this high performance, I mean like okay, the athletes or maybe the sports person
Yeah.
or something like that. So what exactly this high performance coaching means?
See, it's high performance in the sense it's your ability to perform at your optimum levels. Because as a human, we have critical human components which is responsible for your performance. For example, your brain, your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, every aspects. But flow states is when all of these critical human components which is responsible for your performance, when it performs at its peak levels, its best levels, all your human organisms and components performs at its peak levels, that's when flow states happens. It is okay. Let me explain to you in a very, as you asked me, in a simple term.
Simple term.
Yeah, absolutely. But before that, let me give you a definition. It's not my definition, but it's science has got a very clear definition for flow, and it is defined as an optimal state of consciousness where you feel at your best and you perform at your best. So let me simplify in a very simple terms. For example, Vishnu, just imagine inside your brain there are thousands of motivational speakers like me, for example, okay, or inspirational speakers like, Tony Robbins inside your head, inside your brain. They are cheering for you, they're motivating for you. How do you feel that way?
Wow, I may like work like 100 times more than that.
Absolutely. And when you feel that way, how do you perform? This is what, in simple terms, what happens in flow states, because you feel like Superman, and because you feel like you're Superman, you're able to perform at your peak levels. And there is a core science reason why flow state is so special. We'll discuss about deeper level, but at the basic level, this is what flow exactly means.
So this is something like I'm just running a manual car and suddenly I'm getting into an F1 car.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
You are on steroids in terms of your
On
performance.
steroids.
Absolutely.
Okay, Fashan. So tell me about that. You are a black belt karate third dan champion and all. So how does it feel like to have this kind of strength? Because it needs a good amount of time to learn the martial arts, right?
Yeah.
And to expertise it and get into a black belt, how many years it gonna take around?
For me, it took around 3.5 years
Three and
to
half
get into my
years.
first dan black belt. Yeah.
Okay. So how you assess that journey into this high performance? Because I'm not just talking about the strength that you're gaining in your body, but
Mm.
I'm talking about the strength that you need to get into a high performance level
Yeah.
with this kind of discipline in your life. Because three and a half years is not a small period of time. It need a kind of dedication. It can need a kind of discipline. So how you think it works on a high performance level?
See, even 3.5 years journey, it took me to get my first dan of black belt. Then I practiced another 7 years to get into my second and third dan of black belt. But what really martial art taught me, because see, the game, if you really wanted to achieve anything big and bold in your life, the game, I believe, is all about sustained energy, sustained performance over a long period of time. And the journey is definitely not going to be easy. You will face so many situations where that you wanted to give up on that journey, especially when the going gets tough. So what really martial arts, and being a black belt, what really taught me is that kind of discipline, that kind of grit, that kind of perseverance that is needed. That because I always say to everyone, if you have kids, the best thing that you can do for your kids is to teach them martial arts. Because when you are getting physically strong, in turn, you are making them mentally strong. If you take karate, out of 10,000 people join karate, most of the almost 9,000, 8,000 people, they quit in the first year.
Oh, I
And
see.
then by third year, only a few hundred people get into the black belt level. So that, because when the going gets tough, many people, they can't handle that kind of pressure, that kind of pain, I would say. So they give up. So to answer your question, VP, I mean, what really martial art taught me is that kind of perseverance, going through that struggle and pain, and still persevere till the end. So that's what it martial art really taught me.
Okay, so this is something like brushing your teeth every day.
Yeah,
So it's not like just go for one marathon and just finish it saying like, okay, I am done with the day. So it's something like you really have to practice on daily basis. Like it
absolutely.
should be done daily.
I mean, the training has to happen on a regular basis, because every time when you do, if the way that I take this is, if you're not growing every single day, that means you are dying every single day. Every day, whether on the high performance area or mediocre performance, like if you are training your brain. So if you're not carrying out this discipline, anyhow, you are training your brain in the right way or in the wrong way. So you better to choose how do you want to train yourself, whether you want to carry out this struggle and pain and strengthen yourself on a continuous basis, or you wanted to do it for some few days and you give up on that journey. Anyhow, you are training yourself.
Okay. So do you want to connect it with neuroplasticity?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
So this is how like all the psychologists used to say that neuroplasticity is something that our brain is learning new things every day. So high performance is also something like we have to learn on daily basis. So it should be practiced more.
Absolutely. See, if you, yes, you mentioned about neuroplasticity of the
Yes.
brain. Excellent. Because if you look at the human organisms or the components, you have your liver, you have your brain, you have your lungs, you have your hands, legs, all of these components except your brain. Once it is fully matured, it doesn't grow physically or it doesn't change physically. But your brain is the only single organ in your entire system where even after till your death, it keeps changing. I'm not talking only about the software
Anatomy.
part of it, even the physical structure, absolutely. Even the physical structure of that brain changes. So what does this mean? This means you can continuously grow or do not grow till your death. If you're not growing, as I mentioned before, if you're not intentionally letting your brain to grow in the right direction, anyhow, you are training your brain to go in that wrong direction. That is the neuroplasticity or the plasticity of the brain, even not just the programming, the physical structure of the brain also gets changed.
So now we'll be talking about some discipline, routine, and some real life executions. So why I'm saying this is because now you told me like in the beginning, like it's something like thousands of motivational speakers that like motivating me to do something in my head. But me as a human being, see, I will get tired after maybe doing some activities for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah.
So the energy levels, is it the same kind of energy? Like I'm asking because when life is getting harder, so motivation and discipline, is this both going together?
Excellent question. So, absolutely. The answer is yes. Is motivation and discipline go together? Absolutely. Because if you are not motivated, it would be extremely difficult for you to keep that discipline over a long period of time. And this is not my findings. I will tell you one of the best research done by Angela Duckworth from University of Pennsylvania. She's the department head for University of Pennsylvania. She's one of the world's largest, I mean, world's top grit researcher. And she did one of the largest studies on grit, on high achievers, on high performance across multiple industries, from business owners, from founders to scientists to sports persons. You just imagine tens of thousands of people she interviewed. And what she found, all of them are high achievers, by the way, not normal people.
Okay.
And what she found was that all these highest achievers, where she defined the reason for their success is they were all gritty. And it's not, this is what it's mentioned on the paper, her research paper. It's mentioned it's not intelligence, it's not IQ that made these high performers, these high achievers to achieve bigger things in their life. This exact word, it's grit. It's grit. And she defined grit as the intersection of passion and perseverance. So this is exact thing that I wanted to talk about. If you wanted to persevere, if you wanted to have that sustained discipline, you need to have the passion for whatever that you do. If you do not have love or passion for whatever that you do, I mean, if you don't have drive or motivation for whatever thing that you do, it would be really extremely difficult for you to sustain that high levels of discipline over a long period of time.
Okay.
So it is that's why I would say, I mean, it's very well connected. Your motivation and discipline is very well connected.
Okay, so that actually ignited some other questions inside me.
Sure.
So, one more thing is there, like people, see, I happen to see people of many age, like
Yeah.
in different age. So they often tell me like about some of their health issues as the age progress. So if somebody wants to start their high performance coaching or high performance like in their later ages, so I'm not talking about like in 30s and 40s, because some people think that they get very old by the age of 30 and 40. But still I'm asking you that if the discipline is not from the childhood itself, so if they can start in the later ages of their life, is it also possible? Because I'm just talking about that health as well. So okay, so is it any specific answer that you want to give to people who are watching this and just what are struggling in their maybe like in their late 40s or 50s?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Even, by the way, we coach people like people, the majority of our clients are people who are above 35 and around 60, 35 to 60 people who are working in big corporate, CEO, CXO, senior vice president, these kind of people. Yes, and still people will see, as I mentioned before, your brain is plastic, it's neuroplastic. So, and it keeps changing the physical structure till your death. So doesn't matter your age. What you need, the willingness to change. You need a fire to make that change. And yes, you might have created some kind of programming so far throughout your years till you're 30 or 40, but that programming has to be rewired. Is it possible to rewire? Absolutely yes. Is it possible to create new neural networks and neural pathways? Absolutely yes. Why? Because your brain is plastic. So you only need to make that decision. It doesn't matter whether you are 30 or 40. And today, as you mentioned, the health aspects as well, psychology, the brain, neuroscience, I mentioned it. Even the health aspects as well. Today, the field of longevity and high performance aging is advancing a lot. So your age is just a number. Chronologically, you are getting aged 40 or 50, but it is really possible to reverse your age and reduce your biological as well. So even if you are in 40s and 50s and 60s, there are technologies, biohacking tools and protocols which is available, which can significantly reduce your biological age, where you can perform like you are in your 20s and 30s. So in both ways, psychologically, neurologically, neurobiologically, or even physiologically, it is possible to really reduce all aspects of your performance and start performing at your peak levels like you are in your youth or 20s or 30s. Yeah. It is really possible. I mean, science has advanced a lot in that aspects.
So I'm getting another question in my mind. So
I think I would like to ask you a question, Dr.
yes.
BP. I mean, as you are an expert in lifestyle modification, you help a lot of people with. So, I mean, how do you help people to reverse their diseases, reverse their age as you're an expert? Can you also share that so that people.
Yeah, sure. Because it's a vast area, if
Yeah.
I may say. And now it's not something like people are visiting doctors only when they get disease.
Yeah.
They need this kind of longevity actions. They want to actually, they don't want to go for a medication for a lifestyle disorder. They always need a kind of solution where they can modify it to their lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So I happen to listen to many people who says like, sometimes I can listen to some of the supplements which I haven't even heard in my whole life, but people are taking it. So it's not just supplements, it's just they're understanding their body. So this is very important.
Exactly.
So now you mentioned to me about, see, when I asked the questions of this age and this motivation and the high performance coaching, so there are few nutrition deficiencies which
Yes.
these age the people develop. So you mentioned to me about the people who are like the founders, CEO, CFO, Yes, but when it comes to their prime age, so that's what I just want to mention. When it is the beginning stage of the business, or maybe the beginning ages of their whole career, so there are some chances of nutrition deficiencies or some kind of sleep deprivation or some kind of health issues they might have developed. But because of the passion you mentioned, they're driven with the passion because they just forgot about the whole body as a biological unit. They just think that it's just a machine. So in such cases, we really need to make them understand about that there are few things. See, you really have to go for some annual checkups of your own, of your body. You really have to get to know your body. So when I was listening to some of the Nikhil Kamat's podcasts, so I happened to listen to many of the founders who are talking about their daily routines. So many are actually physically active. They're taking enough of their nutrients, like it's not from the food, but still they have a kind of balance in their meal plate. So that's very interesting, to see that what is in their meal plate. So the life before was like, okay, she's carrying a Gucci or a Prada. So now it's like, what is in the meal plate? Because just want to know about the nutrition that is driving them to this success is also very important, I guess.
Absolutely crucial.
So these are the few things I noticed. So I believe like you really have to get to know your body as a biological unit also. So have to understand. So if so some people may say that I'm feeling so drained today. So in such cases, I always recommend them to take a break. So take a break not from the whole work, but just understand your body in that particular day. So I happen to see many kind of thyroid dysfunction, kind of diabetes, a kind of like overweight that people develop when they're doing this kind of strenuous jobs. So I believe that it's always make sure if you are in an employment era or if you are in an entrepreneur era, it's always important to understand your body and then get back to your like healthy life. Then it will be easy for you to achieve all the success goals. This is what I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you need to optimize your physiology, basically.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there are few questions which I want to ask you because people come to me when they have issues with their sleep, when they have issues with their like body, like physiology, etc. But I have a question to you because when you really want to motivate someone, because and they're actually feeling like lazy today. So what do you think that laziness would be from?
See, if you look into the root cause of laziness, see, you're saying people even, I would say, the senior, I was talking to one of the senior vice president of one of the fastest growing IT companies in India, and he's a senior vice president. I don't want to name him, but
Okay.
one of the top fastest growing IT companies,
Okay.
and he still procrastinate. He
Oh.
has procrastination.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not talking about normal engineers or whatever. He's a senior vice president of the company, and
Okay.
people still procrastinate. We have current batch of our high performance coaching going on. We have a lot of people, I mean, high performance people who are in leadership roles, and many of you just imagine what is the majority of the floor blockers of high performance block. It's procrastination, or I mean, laziness. So if you look into little go, I mean, if you ask a question, why are you lazy? So what you are basically saying is that you are not saying I'm lazy. You are not saying I'm procrastinating. You are saying I lack drive. You don't have drive. You don't have arousal, or you don't have the right emotions to do a particular task, right? That's what you're saying. Now, if you go a little bit more deeper, why do you lack drive? Then you will understand the real answer, because you lack drive, because you lack clarity in life.
Exactly.
You don't know about what you really, really, really want in your life. You are just working for money. You are just working for someone else, which is absolutely not connected with your interest in life, or it is absolutely not connected with your unique strength. Because I believe God has created every single human with a unique strength.
Exactly.
You have a unique strength. I
Yes.
have a unique strength. Everyone have a unique strength. So your job is to identify those strengths. Your job is to identify your interest, your passion, your purpose. And once you got extreme level of clarity, you will be like, I mean, it will be impossible. Biologically, it will be impossible for you not to stop. Let me give an example. For example, you know Cristiano Ronaldo right now. He's
Yes, everybody
40.
knows.
You're a big fan of Cristiano.
Yeah, More than that, Messi.
Oh, you like Messi? Okay, let's take Messi. Let's take Messi. He's around 40 as well, but still he's scoring goals. He's like unbelievable, right? In football. Now just imagine you made Messi to join as a physics professor. Do you think he'll be having that kind of passion, or do you think he'll be lazy and procrastinating?
In another life of Messi or this life.
That's what I'm talking about. Basically, I mean, the reason why people are not lazy, people are not procrastinating, people lack drive. They lack drive because they lack clarity. They don't know what do they really want. They just are working for money, or they are not really working for something that they deeply care about. The moment you get extreme clarity about what you care about and why do you care about that, it is almost impossible. Let me tell you a great example. I was talking to, you might know Naveen Jain. Have you heard about
Yes,
Naveen
yes,
Jain?
yes.
He's a multi-billionaire
Yeah, yes, yes.
from Gujarat,
Yeah.
and then now he's an American. Has multiple multi-billion dollar companies. So once I got an opportunity to have a conversation with Naveen, and I asked him a question. I asked him, Naveen, this is exact question, by the way. I asked him, Naveen, you've built multiple billion dollar companies, and I mean, all of them you have taken to multi-billion dollar company. Yeah. If you had to give me what is the secret, I mean, what is the secret to achieve these kind of big things in life? And he told me obsession.
Wow.
Obsession. And I told him, what do you mean by obsession, Naveen? He told me, Fasham, you need to find something that you are ready to die for, and then you live for it. Find something that you are ready to die for, then you live for it. Just imagine you, if you got that level of clarity that you are even ready to give your life, and then you are living to achieve that purpose. If you get that right, that level of clarity, that level of deep clarity, I always say it is humanly impossible. It is humanly impossible not to perform at your peak levels, to be a lazy person, to procrastinate things, because I call it as you will have electricity going through your veins, kind of motivation, kind of drive. It is almost impossible for you not, I mean, to stop, or I mean, you want to get this because you're so passionate about it. You have a purpose, you have a calling, and you have extreme level of clarity, and it is properly aligned with your unique strength. It is properly aligned with your interest, your passion. That's how it is almost, you might have seen some founders, business owners, they have that kind of energy and passion. Where does it come from? It doesn't come from nutrients. It comes from psychological drive. I call it as inner fire.
Yes, yes, I got it.
So that's what it's all about, I believe.
Okay, so this question is actually leading to another one. So this is actually going like a per chain here.
Yeah.
So my question is, see, I happen to say like many people who work hard,
Yeah.
like who are like struggling every day. So they may be in the business for last many decades and all, but still there are. I feel like they haven't achieved that flow state. What is that conflict of interest, or what can be the barriers that they may be facing, or how can they overcome? Like, will it possible for them to achieve it through the high performance coaching?
Absolutely, yes. See, one of the biggest, so you're basically talking about what is preventing people from
Exactly.
triggering flow state
Yes.
consistently. Okay. We call it as flow blockers or high performance blockers.
Okay.
So, what is preventing people from consistent flow? First and foremost, as I mentioned, lack of clarity. If they are not working on something which they care about, they're curious about, they're passionate about, you can't get into flow states. That's number one. Number two, major flow blocker is distraction, because flow follows focus. It happens when your attention is completely driven into one task at a time, on that particular task. That's how you get into flow. So right now we are living in a world of complete distraction, technological distraction. Every moment, you get the notifications.
Notification.
It's almost impossible for you to get into. So I mean, my mentor, Stephen Kotler,
Okay.
he's my mentor. He's one of the world's top authority on flow states. And he has a saying. He trains organizations, big organizations, Google, Microsoft kind of organization, in flow training. And this is what he tells these kind of organization. I mean, if you are not allowing your people to paste a sentence which says F off, I'm flowing, you can't really get into this force. I mean, it requires that kind of complete concentration on that task. And so distraction is number two major flow blocker, I would say. Number three major thing is fixed mindset or negative thought process. The majority, I will tell you another great research done by one of the world's leading mindset researcher, Carol Esdott from Stanford. She did one of the largest studies on mindset. And what she found was that she did brain scans for people with fixed mindset and people with growth mindset. And people with fixed, what do you mean by fixed mindset? These are people who believe that they can't improve uh, certain thing. They can't improve themselves. They can't improve them. These are the people with fixed mindset. Whenever they are faced with some challenges, they feel like they can't do anything about it. I mean, they don't think they can upgrade themselves
Grade themselves.
and solve this problem. These are the fixed mindsetters. Growth mindsetters means they always, whenever they are experiencing any challenges, they know that they can always improve themselves and they can solve that problem or they can achieve those goals. So, what she found was that she did brain scans on hundreds of people with fixed mindset and growth mindset, and what she found was that people with fixed mindset, there were absolutely no neuronal firings,
Oh,
especially when they were faced with real challenges. No communication within the brain because their mind is fixed because they think they can't do anything about it. But instead, growth mindset is what she found was a lot of neuronal fire, lot of communication, because they are already in the mode of solving that problem. You know,
it's just like something called fight flight mode in the
absolutely. In
body.
fixed mindset is yes, because they can't make it. Their decision has been fight or flight. They are get some kind of stuck.
Struck.
But growth mindset is they're
Always on.
absolutely complete firings.
Okay, wow.
So fixed mindset or the negative thought process, then lack of clarity, then distractions, then burnout. Because flow, it's a high energy state. It requires a lot of energy for the brain to be in that state. Once you get out of that state, you literally become tired. So another major problem that I see, especially with high performers, high achievers, is a burnout because they work like machines, but they hate to recover.
Recover.
Recover. So that is again. So these four are the major flow blockers, I would say, which is preventing people.
That's really an eye opener because I believe that people really want to know about,
Yeah.
because when we are struggling, it's always better to understand what kind of issues that you're really facing, because they don't understand it until they like express it to anyone.
Yeah.
So my question is, so what kind of people are actually coming to this coaching programs? So you mentioned about this entrepreneurs, CFOs, founders, etc. So I just want to know that is it possible for the students, like the business students and this doctors, like anyone from any profession, can they join in such programs?
So for our program, I would say no, because the kind of people that we work with, these are people who are about 30, 35 until 55, 60.
Okay.
And most of them are entrepreneurs, founders. Most of them are senior vice president or CXOs or managers of the companies.
Okay.
And they are in a stage of their life where they feel like stuck. They have a lot of things to achieve. And they wanted, they are already facing with a lot of performance blockers, which is extremely costing them a lot of money. I will tell you one example. There was a business owner. I don't want to name him, he's a little bit famous person. It is 57-year-old gentleman. This is just one case I'm talking about.
Okay, got it.
57-year-old gentleman. He came to us. He started his company while he was 30, ran his company for 27 years, made his, company pan India around people with, he built a team of around, 9,000 employees, made around 250 crores of Indian rupees in 27 years. But
He was a unicorn at that time.
that time, but listen to this. Already made 250 crores.
Yes.
But when I asked you, Mr. X, yes, you made company pan India, 9,000 employees, made 250 crores, but he was also struggling with these performance blockers, mindset wise, energy wise, sleep wise. He was not prioritizing sleep and all. So when I asked him, Mr. X, I understand you made 250 crores, but you also mentioned these were the performance blockers which you have been experiencing from these many years. If I were to ask you, how much money or what was the financial impact of these performance blockers? You know what he said?
What is it?
First, he told me, Fasham, in the last 57 years of my life, no one has ever asked me this question. I
Oh.
never thought about it. And then he told me, as I'm reflecting on it right now, Fasham, yes, I made 250 crores, but I think I should have made 2,000 crores. That is a potential business opportunity. Because of my performance blockers, I was not pursuing it. So I would say the cost of my performance blockers, it's like 1,800 crores. That's just one example. I was talking to another senior vice president of Reliance.
Mhm.
Again, I don't want to name. He was the senior vice president 8 years back.
Mhm.
And something happened in his personal life, and then everything collapsed. He lost his job. And his major hesitation is he hesitated to invest in his own development and all. So he was struggling with many performance blockers from last 8 years since he had those kind of personal issues. So I asked the same question to him. He joined our program, but he was very hesitant to upgrade. And 8 years he was not upgrading himself. So I told him again, Mr. X. I don't want to name him.
We can call it him Y.
Mr. Y. Let's call him Mr. Y. Yeah. I told him, that's good. I told him, Mr. Y, I mean, you were a senior vice president, but these last 8 years, because of these performance blockers, you were hesitant to invest in your own self. You were hesitant to in your own growth and all. That was his biggest hesitation. When it comes to money, he can't invest. So I asked him, how much do you think it has cost you, do you think? Then he told me, Fasham, I should have made 5 crores every single year. So I lost already 40 crores. So people are really don't, that really makes me frustrated. People see, God has created every humans with immense potential. You know, Dr. VP, as a medical doctor, you know that our brain with 100 billion neurons, each neuron is connected 10 to 15,000 neurons, trillions of neural connections. You know about your gut, 100 trillion microbiomes, unbelievable organs, unbelievable potential. But because of these performance blockers, which is really, really impacting us, we don't really understand how much in terms of money, what was the real financial impact due to these performance blockers. Yeah. So to answer your question again, we don't really work with students because we work with normally people who are about 30 to 60, 30, 35 to 50, 55, 60. This is the kind of people that we work with who are really experiencing really critical performance blockers, which is really impacting their professional, business, career, personal life. And they are in a state where they feel like they don't have time. They want to take immediate, fast actions. That's where we believe. And they are not coming to us for some motivational talks. They're coming to us for a science-backed high performance tools and protocols, because that's the only way that you can sustain your high performance over a long period of time. You can watch some motivational talks, get,
Motivated charge
yeah, charge for some
for
days.
some days.
Then after 1, 2 days, it fades
It
away.
fades away.
If you wanted to sustain high performance, there is a science to it. There is a science to it.
Okay, so now I just want to intrude into you, coach, because you are a high performance coach who is like basically doing this flow state coaching and all. So my question is, could you please tell me about your routine? Like you as a health performance coach, how is your a day in your life? How it looks like?
Well, that's a great question. Amazing question. So, see, I'm a morning person first of all. So I always say I have been studying. I'm really deeply passionate about the science of human performance,
Yeah.
human performance. So, and I've been studying this for almost 10 years now, 8, 10 years now. So, but there is one thing which I believe in. Let me start with that to tell you my routine. And that there is a quote which I have my own quote which says this: how well you perform next day depends on how well you manage your time prior to your sleep. So what do I mean by that? Because if you manage your time prior to sleep, that means you are protecting your sleep. So you are getting high quality deep sleep. When you get a high quality deep sleep, that's when your high performance starts for the next day. So I believe that your next day starts day before, a day before. So this is how I manage. I take my dinner. Okay, before I explain what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can start from the morning. So I just want to know
Yeah.
that. So you said like you're a morning person. Okay, we'll start from the morning, so it will be easier for
Sure,
like,
sure.
to understand.
Yeah, sure. So I wake up at 4:30. That's
Oh
what. No.
my God,
Yeah,
really?
4:40. Yes.
Okay.
4:30 I wake up.
Yeah.
Um, Then immediately what I do is after going to bathroom, washroom, and prayer.
Yeah.
So which is very important. So I pray.
Mhm.
I show real gratitude for God Almighty for giving another more day. Many people have already passed away. So I show thankfulness, gratitude. So prayer is extremely important for me. And then when I am done with my prayer, so 4:30 until 5:30, I'm done with my prayer. Then straight 5:30 to 7, it's my first floor blocker. It's my first, this is where I tackle my first number one challenge for the day, which is you need 2 or 3 flow blocking time where you are completely focused on the task at hand, where you're completely distraction free. So this is my first flow blocker, which is where I tackle, which is where my energy is at my peak levels. Willpower is at peak levels.
Okay.
So I have high energy levels. So 5:30 to 7 or 7:15 is my first flow blocker. So you need 90 to 120 or possibly 180 minutes. I mean, 1.5 to 2 or 3 hours
Okay.
of one flow block time. So this is my first flow block time, 5:30 to 7:15.
Okay.
This is where I tackle my most important task for that particular day. And then you are in struggling phase. I mean, you're tackling that problem. Then I go for a release phase. I go for a walk, or I go for a mild exercise. Then I re-energize myself. I fuel. I take nutrition, my food, supplement stack. I get my energy back. I go for a cold shower. So now I'm ready for my tackling my second floor block. So now I have my second floor block, which goes from around 2 hours to 3 hours. Again, uninterrupted focus on the task at hand. So this is my second block, I would say. So by the time it's 12:30, then I do my prayer, again, nutrition, lunch, nap, essential, because you already worked a lot. Now you need to again recover. So I take a nap,
So how many hours of nap?
30, 40 minutes.
Minutes of nap.
Yeah,
Okay,
30,
that's
40 minutes. 40 minutes max.
max.
I don't go beyond 40 minutes because that will disrupt your sleep, your main sleep. You need to protect that sleep. So you need just, 20 to 30 or max 40. That's what I do. So yeah, by that lunch, I took my nap, I took my prayer. I mean, I take my nutrition, fuel, nutrition, hydration, very important. My supplementation stack is already done by the time.
Okay, so can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So please name few of the supplements that you take on daily basis. Like a nutrition supplements, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So not many, but to say one is magnesium, which is non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
Magnesium, I take it consistently, mostly at night, which enhances my sleep quality.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Then I take omega-3 and with high EP and DHA,
Great.
which is excellent for my cognitive functions.
Yes,
Then this is
absolutely.
very important thing.
Yes.
Then I take prebiotics and probiotics for my gut bacteria, which is again non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah. And then apart from this, I take a lot, which I learned from my mentor, Dr. Sajeev. He's an expert in longevity and biohacking.
Yes, he is.
You know him?
Yes, I know.
So Dr. Sajeev, as per his recommendation, I consistently take A2 ghee
Wow.
and morning coffee, pure coffee with A2 ghee or grass-fed butter. This is again
Great.
excellent for cognitive functions, your brain functions and alertness.
It's something like BBB, blood-brain barrier.
Absolutely, it breaks that blood-brain barrier, so it's amazing for your brain function. So I take A2 ghee, and then hydration. So I think, yeah, pretty much it. I haven't started yet. I'm planning to start protein, because I do a lot of intense workout. So I'll be starting my protein stack as well. Creatine. This is also excellent, much needed for increasing our muscle mass, which is, as you know, important for a longevity.
For the recovery also, it's very important. Since your brain and body is working together, it definitely needs.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then coming back after the supplementation, what is the afternoon routine?
Yeah, afternoon. Yes, my prayer is done, fuel is done, hydration is done, recovery is done. Now I am ready for my final flop block.
Okay.
So that goes again from 2 to 4:30. That's again uninterrupted focus time where I tackle my third important challenge for the day.
Got it.
Then I tackle after my third block. I recommend, you need 3 floor blocks. 3 blocks is ideal.
No.
Uninterrupted. You won't believe what you can really achieve if you have those uninterrupted concentration or focus on the task at hand. you are much ahead. You just imagine if you're waking up 5:30 or 5 and you are tackling, you're working uninterrupted concentration on your most important task, and it's 7, you're already much ahead of the most of the people. Most of the people wake up at 8, 9:30,
Exactly, yes.
but by the time you are almost done with the most important task, you are already much ahead. So I would always recommend you need to have 3 blocks with uninterrupted focus time, working on your most important goals. And then, yes, I tackle on the reactive, like emails and phones. Between this, every floor block after, I told you, when I am working on that floor blocking time, there is no space for phone.
Okay.
Completely no phone.
I was about to ask some questions about that. Anyways, you started it. So let's explore it then. So how is your phone usages? How is your social media usages?
Yeah.
So I know that it's very important to have a digital presence nowadays because that's the only thing can reach to many people.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious about like when you do this much of high performance activities, like when you're doing this high performance coaching and all. So you mentioned about the distractions which
Yes.
the phone, the small tiny thing actually giving us. So how can we actually like maintain a balance? Because this is also important,
Yeah.
and this is like it should go hand in hand.
Yes.
So how it should be like managed? Like
It's a great question, VP. I mean, what I do, I will tell you what I would do, and this is what I would recommend. As I said, you need 2 to 3 flow blocks every single day, minimum. That's how. And those flow blocks means uninterrupted concentration. Why? Because flow follows focus. Because in even minor distraction can cause significant performance dips because flow follows a cycle. You need a struggle phase, then you go through a release phase, then you get into flow phase, then you have to recover. You can't skip any phase. So if you, okay, you struggled, you focus, you struggle, you released, and then you enter into flow state, then you got distracted, again you have to start from struggle. So once you break from flow through distractions, it takes another at least 15 minutes to get into the starting point of flow states, because flow is like any other emotions. You have micro flow states, macro flow. For example, you are angry, any other emotion.
yeah.
You can be uh, angry for your kid for something,
Okay.
or you can be get angry like you want to kill someone. Likewise, flow also, you have a micro flow states, you have macro flow states. It's a deeper. So, and you know flow states. Why do you need to protect your flow states? Because the numbers are so huge, Vipi. I mean, what the research shows, 500% productive when you are in flow state. 500%. I will tell you a study done by McKinsey. You know McKinsey, world's biggest consultancy company. They did a study on flow states on their own senior executives. And what they found was that their senior executives, when they're operating in flow, they were 500% more productive. So, what do you mean by 500% productive? I mean, what they found
In their working hours.
in their working hours. So, what they found when they come, these senior executives, when they come on Monday, drops into flow or operate in flow states, they were able to achieve what it would normally take them Monday to Friday. What they found, they come on Monday and Tuesday, drops into flow, operate in flow states, what they would, uh, I mean, take them normally 10 days, they were able to achieve in just 2 days. That's why 1000% productive in just 2 days. So 500% productivity when you are in flow, 430% increase in creativity and innovation, 200% increase in learning and memory. What do you mean by that? You know the 10,000 rule, where if you wanted to become an expert in something, for example, if you want to become an expert cricketer, like Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli, you need 10,000 hours of practice, deliberate practice, we call it. And if you want to become an expert in anything, expert chess, grandmaster, whatever, you need 10,000 hours of in depth, deliberate practice to get to that level of mastery. Flow cuts that into half. That learning curve, you cut that into half. So, learning and memory, creativity, innovation, productivity, grit, perseverance, passion, purpose, every aspects of your high performance skyrockets when you are in flow. That's the reason why you need to protect that state. So, what do I do to answer your question to get rid of my distractions? I have these flow blockers. When I'm in flow, there is absolutely no space for my phone. It's in flight mode, it's out of my room. I have my biggest flow hacking tool is my
Headphone.
Headphones, noise canceling headphone. I really invested Sennheiser, one of the best
Yeah.
noise canceling.
Got it. Got it.
I don't want any, it's a very powerful noise canceling headphone. So I don't know what's happening outside. I just focused on the task at hand. So, and once I'm done with my flow block time, then I get into distraction or I get into social media, whatever I wanted to check. So I have a batched time for my distraction and it was intentional. So that's how I look at in terms of, yeah.
So how many hours you give for this distraction? So you got a major three like flow blocks a day.
Yeah.
So what is the time that you give for your phone or for your social media?
See, I'm not handling my social media.
Okay.
First of all, I have my team,
Yes.
they are taking care of it. So I look at around 10-15 minutes after every batch, 5-10 minutes or 10-15 minutes max. That's how normally I do it.
So for Sham, let me ask you a very basic example, like a basic doubt actually, not an example, but I will explain it through an example. I happen to see that people are choosing different career now. Like they're not like it was in my era, like when I was in school and all. Everybody wants to become a doctor or an engineer. So this was the kind of career options they had before. But now everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to start a business. Everybody is so focused to do something of their own. And many people who are not even like motivation speakers, who are just random people who's having an Instagram ID, is also giving like motivation calls,
Advices, yes.
advices like you should at least have a business of your own.
Yeah.
But is that a kind of advices which is valid or relevant? Because I just wanted to know, because people are jumping into many kind of businesses and they're actually like failing. Many people, many startups are getting failed. So what can be the reason? What is it because they're not getting into the flow state? Or can you please explain?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a very important question, by the way, Dr. BP. Um, I'll tell you my starting from my example. You know, as you mentioned, I was an engineer. I worked in Aramco, world's biggest energy company, as senior integrity engineer. And I was like GC 13. Aramco follows a American military system. So I was in a very senior position. So I was working as senior integrity engineer responsible for integrity of 4 major oil and gas fields and all.
Okay.
Then I got into the field of the science of ultimate human performance and all. So I got some clarity and all. So finally I resigned. The reason why I'm telling you, I'm getting to that answer to answer your question.
Sure.
So
Interesting now.
yeah, so my boss, he told me I finally resigned from Aramco. I worked there for 8 years and then I resigned. And this is what my boss, he's a Saudi, he told me, Aramco, world's top people work there. It was my dream to get into Aramco. I got that dream. And then after 8 years, I completely lost the passion.
Is it because you lost the novelty as well?
Not, I know what you're talking about, but not because of the novelty aspect. But I got the one which I mentioned earlier. I got clarity about what do I really want for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I got that clarity. I know what's my passion, what's my true interest, what's my purpose. I got that clarity. And finally, I resigned. And my boss, he told me, Saudi, I have a great relationship with him. I protected him many times. I fought for him. So he told me, Fasham, what are you doing, man? This is exactly what he told me. He told me, this is Aramco, world's biggest energy, and people are dreaming to come and work for Aramco, and you are trying to go away from here. It doesn't make sense. And this exact word I told him back. I told him, boss, I understand that. But I lost the fire. I was in fire before I wanted to get into Aramco. I got into Aramco. Now I lost the fire. And I got a new fire, which is helping people unlock their ultimate human performance. So I started building my business. I mean, you need fire.
Exactly.
The point I'm making here is, in order for you to achieve anything big and bold in your life, it's a long-term game. You cannot just look at someone else's success and think that you can replicate that success. It's absolutely, you're going to fail. That is the reason why most entrepreneurs are failing, because to achieve anything big and bold, VP, it's a long-term game, as you know. And the game is all about sustaining that high performance energy over a long period of time. And it is all because the journey is so tough, especially entrepreneurial journey. It is tough. It's going to take your everything. You get exhausted. So if you don't have energy, I'm not talking only about the physiological energy. the nutrient. This is extremely critical, but I'm talking about the psychological energy or your inner fire. If you don't have that fire, you're gonna quit when you're challenged, when you're faced with obstacles and challenges. You're gonna quit. So only way that, because it's a long-term game and the game is all about sustaining that high energy and performance over a long period of time, you will quit if you are faking or if you're trying to copy others or what others are trying to achieve. You're trying to repeat. If you are not deeply passionate about it, or if you don't have that interest about it, or if you don't have a why or purpose, and it is also not aligned with your unique strength, which we talked in at the initial,
Exactly.
God has gifted with everyone with that unique strength. And if those interest, I mean, your purpose and passion is not aligned with your uniqueness, your values and all, you're going to fail. You will not be able to sustain that fire. I call it as electricity going through your veins kind of motivation drive. You might have seen with some founders where they
Yes.
have that kind of motivation. That comes from this extreme level of clarity about what do they really want in their life. That is the reason why most of the entrepreneurs fail, because they try to copy other people. Says, oh, this person did that, he was successful, let me do this.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. So I would say yes, what you can do if you really wanted to become the best version of yourself, if you really wanted to achieve anything big, get bold in your life, what you could do for yourself, the thing that you could identify your uniqueness, which is your strengths, which is your values, which is your passion, which is your interest and purpose. And once you get that, you follow that. But don't ever quit. I did not quit Aramco once I got clarity. I started business over there. I got few clients, then I quit. I'll tell you one major thing. If you are quitting your job, yes, that's first stage. Yes, anyone, especially in this area of technology, anyone can achieve anything.
Yes.
You don't,
One more thing is that anyone can actually replaced.
absolutely. And also, you don't need, for example, if you want to build $1 billion company, the world of AI and technology, you don't need a lot of people. Times are going to be coming, and it's already there. People with one or two or three team members can build a multi-billion-dollar company. So
Exactly.
AI is going to do the job for you. You don't need a big team.
Big deal.
So anyone can achieve massive success. But if you wanted to achieve massive success, it's not going to be, journey is not going to be easy. Journey is going to be, people say, every 1,000 step, it starts with one step, but it's still 1,000 steps. You have to still climb 1,000 steps. You need energy.
Yes.
So if you don't have energy when you climb 100 steps, you are going to quit. You can't. So that's one aspect. So follow, identify, have that extreme level of clarity and follow that. That's number one. But number two, VP, for the listeners, I wanted to make it extremely clear, which is before quitting, see, this comes under your self-actualization, identifying your purpose and following it and building a business around it or whatever, or non-profit organization. But Abraham Maslow, one of the world's leading high-performance psychologists, he made something called, you might have heard about it, I mean, Maslow's pyramid of needs, where he started with self-actualization is what we are talking about,
Yes.
identifying a passion, building a business around it or whatever. That's self-actualization. That's at the top of the pyramid. Bottom of the pyramid, you have to take care of your safety needs. So if you, I mean, today the safety needs is money. If you don't have money, if you're struggling with
Yes.
food and shelter, that's the reason why there is going to be a lot of fear in the equation. The brain is flooded with a lot of fear, cortisol, norepinephrine. You can't execute things. So you can't achieve those self-actualization. Again, number two, the another step is relationship, intimacy, emotions. If you're fighting with your wife or, I mean, these bottom of the pyramid, you take care first. You make sure you solve the money problem first. You make sure you have a great relationship. Then you are in a beautiful state. You have no fear. Then you work on your self-actualization, your purposeful, fulfilling your purpose. If you are directly working on self-actualization, on achieving a business or whatever based on what you want, if you haven't taken care of this bottom level of the pyramid, there is going to be a lot of fear. You will not be able to sustain that high performance or energy required to sustain these obstacles for a longer period of time. So what I would say, yes, anyone has the opportunity. We are living in such a beautiful world. Anyone can achieve anything that in your world, can follow your passion, but make sure you take care of these foundational things. Number one. Number two, don't think that if other person is successful, if you start the same thing, you will be successful.
Exactly.
He is successful because he was so crazy driven, because of his alignment was so, he stacked all his alignment, I mean strength, passion, purpose. That's why he is successful. You can't you can't copy, you can copy his uh, business, but you can't copy his drive. So the most important thing is make sure your drive is correct, your purpose is correct, and then you take care of the bottom of the pyramid. I mean, finance, money, safety needs, relationship needs. Then you start following your self actualization. That's what I would say.
This was about my next question because there should be a work life and a personal life balance. So this was one of the questions I wanted to ask you because all this high performance things which is happening around you, it should actually have a balance, right? It should have a health balance, like it should be having a family life balance. So how easy is for an struggling entrepreneur or anyone who's struggling to maintain this kind of balance? Is that a kind of like flaw blockers?
See, that's again a very important question. My answer to that question is, see, you can't have proper balance. You need proper balance, but I will tell you, you can't get exhausted. That's one
Yeah.
thing. You're saying, okay, people are getting exhausted while working,
Yes.
working, and they don't have family life. Their health is deteriorated. But the way that I am looking at it, my work is fun. I love it. You are in flow. The only way you can get into flow is the most pleasurable state, right? This is a neurochemical dump of pleasure chemicals, high performance chemicals. All
Serotonin.
yeah, serotonin, which is your primary happiness chemicals.
Exactly.
Flow is a state where all of these high performance chemicals is being deployed at once. At once, your dopamine is being
Yes.
your primary rewarding chemical.
Rewarding.
Norepinephrine, the exciting chemical response for anxiety. Endorphins, your pleasure chemicals. Your thrill, anandamide, which damages down your pain, dopamine, acetylcholine, all of these performance, it's a neurochemical dump, and it's all of them are pleasure chemicals. So when you're in flow, it's such an addictive statement. You enjoy it. So there are flow triggers. So if you're working on curiosity, passion, purpose, and you're building a business around it, or doing something around it, or working something around it, you don't feel like work. You don't feel like you're exhausted. You love it. You just love it.
I think you also need oxytocin also when you're in love with your work. Then there was an
Absolutely.
oxytocin as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, especially when team, other people are
Yes.
involved, oxytocin, social chemical
Yes.
also plays a crucial. So the point I'm making is, in order to achieve anything big and bold, you may not be able to balance your life appropriately. So what I would say, build your life around your passion, purpose. So you are not really burning out yourself. You're enjoying your work. You love it. You can't take the break because you love it so much. Even if you have free time, you want to work because it's not work, it's fun. You're having a lot of fun, and that's the way you will be able to sustain that levels of performance over a long period of time. And that's how you achieve the impossible, or you achieve something greater or unique in your life, because you are so much in love with what you do. If you ask Cristiano Ronaldo, he also said this, I just love playing football, I just love playing it. If you ask Sachin Tendulkar, I just love playing cricket. That's a kind of love that you need for your craft. And so that's the way I look at it. Then you need that balance, because you are having fun, you are enjoying it, you are not stressing out yourself. You're having fun because you're working on, and you're in flow. It's a pleasurable commitment. So you are not getting into burnout.
That was such a nice and a wonderful, and that was something which I was not expected, but it
Yeah.
was a very good answer. Okay, so let's go to a rapid fire session then.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
Ask me simple questions. Okay.
It's a rapid fire, so you really have to answer it rapidly. Like
Okay.
there will be two options, so you
Okay.
have to pick one.
Sure.
And if you think it's very much important to answer,
Yeah.
like within two sentences, okay?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So, anyways, you answered this, but still, I will ask you like morning routine or night routine?
Um, I would say morning routine, but in order for you to protect your morning routine, you need a great night routine.
Wow. Okay. Deep work or short sprints?
Oh my God, deep work, deep work, deep work, deep work.
You just don't want to look at the short sprints? Okay. Discipline or flexibility?
Uh, I'm a fan of discipline. I'm a fan of discipline. Yeah.
So okay.
Because we know there will be times, the reason why there will be times, uh, challenges, so many things going to happen. So if you are so much flexible, I'm not a fan of flexibility. Yes, flexibility is needed. That is good for your brain plasticity.
Yes.
But when it comes to when you have a discipline, whatever, irrespective of what have, because your brain follows programming, when you have built that kind of stack of discipline, irrespective of what happens, you just want to do that. So I'm a fan of discipline.
So I was about to ask you something else.
Yeah.
Like if I have a kid, then I will definitely send him to martial arts school for sure. Now.
100% BB. I mean, this is what, if there is one takeaway that I want people to take from this, this is what I would tell them. This is what I would advise them. If you have kids, growing kids, please get them into martial arts or something intense physical workouts, because the benefit, the confidence, the belief that they are going to get, because especially in this changing world, fast paced moving world, what you need is that kind of belief system, that kind of confidence. That is what you're good. If you are growing your kids with that kind of physical intensity workouts and all, the biggest benefits, it's mental. You are growing a mentally tough kids, and that's what you need. So I would highly recommend everyone to do that.
So what else you will recommend? Like, okay, this is important. Like the getting into a very like good physical activity is important. So what else you think that if anybody who is watching this who want to make a high performer, you want to make your child a high performer, what is the other suggestions that you have? Like they can build from their childhood.
Wow, that's again an important question. I would say identify what they love. See, when we say, I mentioned about curiosity, it's a phenomenal flow trigger. When you're working on something that you are interested in, that you are curious about, it immediately put your brain into the now. You love doing it. And when it comes to curiosity, did you see, we talk about childlike curiosity, right?
Yeah.
When child is working on it, he's not focused, he or she is not focused on anything else. He's just focused on that particular thing. So the best thing that you can help your child, don't force him to become a doctor or engineer. The reason why I'm telling you,
Yes.
because it took me 15 years working in the corporate world as an engineer to identify this is not what I want. And I'm just doing quite the opposite, biological aspects of high performance, right? So I would say for your kids, apart from martial arts and physical, I would say identify closely, watch them, what they are interested in, and feed them. Give them more related to that. For example, I have two kids. My eldest one, he's more like a deep thinker, because if you look into flow personal, there are different flow personalities.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm a hard charger, so when I'm talking,
Yes.
I need something of intense.
Yes,
So that's my personality. My wife, my wife,
Yes.
she comes into flow goer personality. She's like flow goer. She's, go, I mean, like yoga fanatics and
Yeah.
dancing kind of stuff. She flows. That's the kind of her personality. There are another two more. My primary flow personality is I'm a hard charger. My secondary flow personality is crowd pleaser. When I'm in front of a crowd, I perform at my peak. That's my personality. There are another two personality, which is deep thinker. Deep thinker, these are like architects, designers, coders, software engineers,
Okay.
people who use their brain for producing their craft or high quality work. And then, yeah, these are the four hard charger, crowd pleaser, deep thinker, and flow goers. So you need to closely watch. For example, yeah, my kid, my eldest one, he's more of like a deep thinker. He loves AI, he loves coding, he loves to prompting, these kind of stuff. So I am feeding him towards that direction, not forcing anything. Whatever he loves doing, I just try to give it more. My youngest one, he's like me. I mean, he's something like, hard charge. I mean, he loves sports, he loves football, this kind of stuff. So what I would say for the kids, you closely watch them, what they love doing, and you just feed them. You just feed them. You just feed them. You build that passion, build that interest, and please don't force them to become a doctor or engineer. If they don't like it, let them choose, because it's like, as I mentioned, you're forcing Cristiano Ronaldo or Virat Kohli or Messi to become a physics professor. What would happen? So this is the best thing that you can do for your kids. Help them identify. You closely watch them, what they love doing. You closely watch them and give them, feed their brain or feed their pattern recognition system with more of those kind of things. And you help them. You make sure your kids love what they do, and help them to create a profession, whether it be business or a career, whatever they want to do or not, whatever, around what their interests and what they love doing. And that's how they become the best version of themselves.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's an amazing answer. So, I was thinking, so how will you be able to identify the flow personalities? If you see someone,
Yeah.
so in your coaching also, those are coming for taking your coaching. So, will you be able to understand their kind of flow personality every time?
Absolutely. I mean, we have in our coaching system, we have a
Okay.
certain questionnaire. We help them go through those questionnaires. So once they fill in the questionnaires, they will be able to identify what kind of flow personality they have.
Okay.
But for anyone, it is just, you watch them closely or for yourself. I mean, again, there is, you know, flow profile, like what is that you love doing. I mean, for example, I get into more flow when it is something intense, when I'm doing martial arts, when I'm playing something cricket or football. I do with all the intensity, and that puts me into flow because I'm a hard charger. That's a kind of personality. To see the way that I'm talking, that passion, I'm also a crowd pleaser. It is not I mean, it's coming natural. I mean,
Naturally.
whenever I'm in a crowd, that comes, that's my flow person. So you Rosie, you don't need to fill in the questionnaire. You look at or you ask yourself, what am I love doing? What are those activities which makes me or keeps me in flow? You can, everyone experience it. It's those timings where you are deeply focused on the task at hand. You love it, you love doing it, and your sense of self vanishes. Time passes strangely, where 5 hours goes like 5 minutes. I mean, you're into that zone, right? So that is flow. So you closely watch people, your kids or whatever, or yourself. How kind of, am I a hard charger? Do I love? When do I get into flow? When do I become oneness with what I do? What activity makes it? Is it dancing, or is it martial arts, or is it public speaking? What is that? When you ask this question, what drops into flow? Is it sports? Is it, what subject do you like the most? So then you will be able to understand what kind of personality you have. At least you get some idea.
Idea.
Yeah, on that direction.
So, will you get to understand what kind of flow personality do I have from the like so far what we know from each other?
I don't know, but I think VP, based on our conversation, one of your, I think you have a crowd pleaser. I don't know, primary or secondary. I think maybe secondary.
Yeah.
But deep thinker, I really don't know whether it be deep thinker or flow goer. Maybe you are a brain worker. I don't know whether you use your brain. You love which uses your brain. Like, I don't know. So, do you love doing those kind of activities, or you feel like you love dancing, or
No. I'm not a dancer.
you're not a dancer? Do you like intensity?
I like intensity because I do 2 hours of straight work
Wow.
every
So
day.
then I think you are also some kind of flow personality like me.
Yeah.
Maybe again, you can have a primary flow personality, or you can have a secondary flow personality.
Exactly.
So maybe you're a crowd pleaser at primary or a secondary.
I think that's come secondary because I always go for this high intensity stuff.
So you are like me then.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I always pre-plan
You
the
love it.
day. Yeah, pre-plan the day. I
Yes.
love doing things with because I happened to I
Absolutely.
heard something like from long ago. They can read from the handwriting that how we are writing it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's it's always like my handwriting is really bad.
Same like me.
Okay.
Yes.
And whenever I'm writing something, it actually leaves some kind of imprint on the next page.
Ah.
Is
So
it
it was so
So
intense.
it is so intense. So
Okay.
I can actually shift that handwriting into a nicer one, like a pleasing
Yeah.
one as well, and into something which I scribble as well.
Got it. So you don't think like you are a deep thinker or a,
No,
you don't use your brain.
I
I
don't
mean,
use that too much.
so you are like me, I believe. I
Yeah.
mean, you are a primary, maybe a hard charger.
Yes, hard
So you
charger.
get more into when you do intense things. You need intensity for getting into flow.
Yes. And I really love to, what I'm thinking is, I really love to get to know things because
Yeah.
childlike curiosity
Yes.
that I always develop because
Absolutely.
this is the reason days I started reading more about history. Because it was the like most hated subject for me when I was in my school. I think I failed also once in history, but now I started liking it. So this childlike curiosity is also very important.
Same like me. Biology, I hate it, but now I love it.
Now you're living with that.
Absolutely. This is my profession. Absolutely.
But I don't know. I had a great love towards biology, and my father was in an immense love with mathematics, and I hated maths.
Yeah.
And I studied it only for passing my exams. So yeah, let's come back to rapid
Yeah.
fire. This is also already answered, but still, physical training or mental training first. First.
Of course, physical training. Because if you want mental training, it starts with physical training.
Wow.
So if you want to enhance your mental toughness, it starts with physical.
And because after doing this workouts are really release
Yes.
endorphins, and which really
Not only that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, if you want to be mentally tough, you start with physical training. You do 10 push-ups, and then from 10, you increase that to 13 or 15. That means when you're doing more reps, your mentally is getting tougher.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I really understand that feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a hard charger.
One habit people should quit immediately. Be that.
Distractions. Technology distraction, especially in this period. Distraction. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah. No, you are not distracted. You are using it for
Okay.
the task needed at this
Yes.
moment of time. But distraction, because it is really pulling us from flow states and high performance, and we are missing a lot. So technology, email, notifications, a lot of distractions. So at this stage of your life, everyone at this era, what we are living, I would say distraction. Yeah.
Okay. So one habit people should build immediately, maybe after seeing this podcast.
I would say discipline. I mean, protect your sleep
Yes.
and wake up early
Okay.
and flow.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Amazing answers.
Yeah.
So, for Sham, as a closing question, I just want to ask you something. If somebody really wants to achieve this peak performance without sacrificing their health, what are the things they should start with?
Excellent question. So, to begin to answer that question, let me begin. What is making them sacrifice their health?
Okay.
What is them making them stressful? What is them making the burn out? So, one aspect which is making people burn out is their motivation stack, which I mentioned: curiosity, passion, purpose, strength, values. This is completely out of balance.
Okay.
They're not working on something that they deeply care about. So, that is making people burned out, stressed out. Number two, they don't have discipline. They don't protect sleep. They don't have flow. Activity, which, because if you want more flow in their life, you want to involve in activity which gives you more flow. I'll tell you why. So, if you want to prevent burnout, there are three things. If you want or don't want to get affected by your health, to your health, sustained high performance, there are three most critical things that you need to take care of. Number one, you need to have at least 90 minutes of flow activity. What do you mean by these? I'm not talking about, again, even if you are working, you have extreme level of clarity about your curiosity, passion, purpose, and you love doing what you are doing, what you're building. This is again comes under secondary flow activity. You need to first identify your primary flow activity. What do you mean by that? This is your escape place. What do you love doing? For example, for me, when I am with my friends having fun, I have a lot of fun. That's my escape place. For example,
Okay.
I play martial arts, I play intense football or whatever game. That's my escape place. I love doing it. I have a lot of fun, enjoy it. So you need to identify your primary flow activity. This is your escape place whenever you're burned out. Even when you are working on something that you are curious about, you still need to have that escape place, primary flow activity. For example, it could be dancing. For example, it could be singing. For example, it could be anything that you love it, based on, again, your flow personality. If you have that, that's number one. You are protecting your health. Number two, you need to protect your sleep, essential for recovery and sustained high performance. Because as we were discussing, Dr. VP, you also know it better at a deeper level, that we are not, machines. We are a biological being, and that biology has to be protected. We need to consistently recover and re-energize ourselves. So that's why we need to protect our sleep. Number three, very important. If you don't want to sacrifice your health, if you wanted to sustain this high performance without burnout and stress, another non-negotiable is include active recovery protocols in your routines. So what?
Active recovery protocol.
Absolutely accurate. What do I mean by active recovery protocols? And sleep, I already mentioned.
Yes.
This is non-negotiable. Again, active recovery protocols itself is non-negotiable. So these are like your cold showers. These are your massages. These are your infrared saunas. These are your Epsom salt baths. These are,
Cold plunge?
of course, unbelievable in terms of recovery, cryogenics or your hyperbaric oxygen chambers. You need to involve these biohacking or recovery protocols in place. So you need, number one, if you want to sustain your high performance over a longer period of time without sacrificing your health, without stress and burnout, and sustain it over a long period of time, possibly for the rest of your life, you need three things. Number one, you need to identify your primary flow activity, which you love doing, and at least 90 minutes every single week. You need to do it. That's number one. I will tell you, especially for air players, it's going to be extremely difficult because air players, high achievers, they feel like recovery as a waste of time because they always. So that's why in recovery, we call it as you need grit. You need to force yourself to do that recovery. It's not going to be easy because you feel like, recovery is like you are wasting your time. This is so essential. So that's number one. Number two, protect your sleep. High quality 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I would say I need 7.5 hours. Otherwise, my energy is.
It will be like alcohol intoxication for some people
Absolutely.
if you're not sleeping properly.
You're like in what do you call it, zombie?
Zombie
Yeah,
effect.
walking zombie.
Walking zombie.
You're like a walking zombie. So I need at least 7.5 hours sleep. If I do not get it, I am like a walking zombie.
And this is very important because of the maintaining the blood glucose levels.
You may absolutely, Dr. VP, you can add, as you're working with a lot of clients here, what would you normally suggest people to have these recovery?
I'll say recovery happens from different phases. You know, like there are mental fatigue which
Absolutely.
happens, like physical fatigue is also there. But when it comes like a physical fatigue, what I obviously noticed when people like who are running business or who are actually like these A players and all comes to us. So what I noticed is they always have a kind of issue with their sleep. You're absolutely right because
100%.
7 to 8 hours are like dream for some people to achieve because now people are so envy of you because you are getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So sleep is very important, and because of the sleep deprivation, what happens is they're not able to make a day productive.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's very important to get how we starting in the day is very important.
100%.
So some people actually run their whole day in a mug of coffee. So this is actually still coffee is like a villain here because it's not actually asking or it's not actually making people to do the recovery. It's
Yes.
just suppressing that feeling of taking rest and it's actually overstimulating you. So
100%.
which is also like very terrific thing to say because I happen to say like in my work environment also if somebody is drinking more than 3 to 4 coffees,
Yeah.
then I am really worried. I go and talk.
Absolutely.
I go and talk and I ask like, is it really necessary? Can we just replace it with some water like if you want?
100%. Yes.
But this
I think
actually
it is better to reduce that to maximum 2 cup of coffee, right?
yeah, like that too without sugar. But what
Yes.
is happening nowadays is you can actually see it every. So now you talk about all the A players and all, but there are people who are on the employment level or those who are the employees of the space. So they will definitely find a place where they can sit and have a cup of tea. So this is not just a cup of tea. There will be a cigarette also in the place. So this both is actually not a friendship signal, it's not a bonding signal. I will say that this is something actually dehydrating you. This dehydration actually lead to kind of anemia. So you will definitely losing a lot of ions from your blood and there will not be like much recovery happening like you said. In every 90 days there will be new blood cells need to be produced.
100%.
But once if you are not meeting your nutrient requirements, then how it will be rebuilt or recovery, how it's going to be done.
Absolutely. Yes.
And there is one more thing I noticed is hair fall is something that everybody is suffering from. Those who are having or taking a lot of kind of coffee or having, they say that, oh, this is a very stressful environment. I really go for a coffee or a cigarette. And these people also said, okay, this stress is actually making me losing my hair. See, you are actually doing something to aggravate the stress as well.
Absolutely.
So, like I mentioned, sleep. So, if you are not actually getting good enough of sleep, the cortisol level is also high. The cortisol, so you mentioned about all the happy hormones, all the happy neurochemicals, but there is something called cortisol, which is stress hormone, which is really the villain is. So, cortisol is actually like we can get to know about cortisol when you are so stressed from your work or from relationship or anything. But sometimes if there is nothing visibly happen also, you will be stressed. You can actually see a kind of fat deposition on the lower abdomen, on the hips, etc. So these are the signs. There is like cortisol belly, we call it like cortisol belly as well. So like you mentioned, because sleep, nutrition, it's very hydration is very important. So at least go for 3 to 4 liters of water.
Yes.
You can go for coffee if you want. If you think it is a functioning thing for you, then you can drink, but without uh, sugar.
Yes.
Without
And
sugar,
maximum of 2
maximum of maximum. Still, I would say like reduce the quantity of coffee, or you can go for some green teas also. Can be done.
Chamomile.
Yeah. Or that is actually like make you feel a bit calm. That can be considered for the night. Okay.
Yeah.
So once you mentioned, so you mentioned few of your supplement intake.
Yeah.
So I would say there are few blood works that you really need to do if you want the high performance.
Yeah.
So you really have to check for your vitamin D, D3 as well. So vitamin D is way too important.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned, because all the people who are like 30s and 40s, they may, along with their mental fatigue, there is a lot of physical fatigue as well. So they feel like by the afternoon everybody wants to get into like a fatigue mode or sleep mode. So we really have to address such is because they're not having enough protein in their food. It's because they're not taking enough fiber in their food. Macro micronutrients are actually lacking in their food.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
yeah, it's not gonna given by any coffee.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yes.
Yes.
And we will, only by sleep only will be our frontal brain will be working.
Yes.
Then only all the major speech activities and all the organizing activities will be done. So yeah, like you said, there are few physiological and biological
100%,
recoveries as well.
Yeah.
So yes, and you mentioned about magnesium. Magnesium is very important, but in taking magnesium, it's very important to understand what kind of a magnesium are you taking.
Yes.
So there are different citrate, glycinate, different kind of magnesiums are available. So I will tell you an example if we have enough time.
Yeah.
So I go to gym like on daily basis, like 6 days a week. So people say that I'm not getting good recovery, but what I happen to observe is I'm actually gaining good. So I don't complain it. But once some people I have heard like people are suggesting magnesium of any salt to anyone. But no, when somebody is going to gym and they need a recovery, they need a specific kind of a salt.
Yes.
If they struggle with diabetes, they need a different kind of magnesium. If they struggle with sleep, like you said, you need productivity. It's not like you're struggling, it's just you need that kind of sleep, so you're taking it. So what kind of salt is needed for sleep? So this should be understood. For these cases, you really need the help of a medical professional.
Absolutely.
So this cannot be actually explained by anyone else.
100%. Yeah.
So these are the few things. So once you mentioned about omega-3, that's absolutely good. Because why I said is, you mentioned the EP and DHA.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because people never observe for this EP and DHA. So once one of my like senior, he approached me because they started a particular omega-3. They started the production of a particular omega-3. But he really asked me to promote it through the Insta. But what I find is the EP and DHA was less. So I cannot actually go and promote them. So these are the few factors. So some blood values need to be assessed on an annual basis, and that include vitamin D. See, vitamin D is a very easy thing to identify. If you're getting easily agitated, if you're getting angry very easily, if you're losing your temper in your work, then definitely you should go for a vitamin D3
And
test.
also magnesium, right?
Magnesium is very important. Magnesium also like help us to regulate the like all stress levels and all. And zinc will help you for the boosting your memory and to keep a like keep everything organized. So sink will be like a charger in the morning, so you can actually run with that the whole day. So zinc is also there. And like you mentioned, some pre-workout drinks is also very important. And also after the workout, some protein is necessary. Prebiotic and probiotic. So that is also there because we have the first brain for people like Fasham is there to take care of that. And but we have a second brain and that's our gut. So gut need to be addressed. The problems of gut need to be addressed.
100%, yeah.
Today also when I was talking to one of my patient, then they're like a couple. So they both are having gastric issues. So this is actually if the other person is getting the other person, the couples they're like together. So they're getting it together. So this should be addressed first. And they're having many autoimmunity issues because of the particular problem in the gut. So we really have to resolve the gut issues first. Then only we can help them to resolve their other issues. So gut health is also very important.
Extremely critical, yes.
Yes, because the patient was mentioning to me because like it's very difficult for me to go to toilet like when I'm in a business meeting. So these kind of struggles people are facing. This will also, I believe, this will also believe their performances, like their high performances. When the gut is really bad, it need to be fixed the first.
Absolutely, because it impacts your emotions, your cognitive functions, your mood, everything. Yes, absolutely, of course.
Okay, so these are the few suggestions from my part. So these are the contributions that I can give for high performance.
Absolutely amazing, yes.
Okay, so that was so nice talking to you,
Yeah,
Fashan.
Dr. VP.
Okay, so I hope this podcast was helpful for many who was asking for like high performance but without losing their health. Thank you so much and have a very good day.
Thank you, everyone.